All right, so here's what you hopefully know. Here's what you practiced this morning, okay? The first line here says, here's what you know. If lines are parallel, then corresponding alternate interior and alternate exterior angles are equal. Congruent, which is equal. Okay, so just want to get you used to a symbol that you might see. The symbol for congruent looks like this, whereas equal just looks like this. Okay, so like same idea. So corresponding alternate interior and alternate exterior angles are congruent or equal, however you want to look at it, all right? Same side interior and same side exterior angles are supplementary. So in terms of our supplementary relationship, we say angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. Whereas if they're equal, we say angle 1 equals angle 2. Right? Those are the two relationships we worked with yesterday. The opposite is true as well. It's called the converse, but it just means the reverse is true. If you have a pair of corresponding angles that are equal, then lines are parallel. If you have a pair of alternate interior angles that are equal, then lines are parallel. So instead of like solving for missing angles, it's like here are two angles. They're the same. Are your lines parallel? It depends on what the relationship is. So if corresponding alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles are equal or congruent, then lines are parallel. I told you it's going to feel like we're doing the same thing because we kind of are. We're just reversing the sentence. We're going to do the same thing but in a different order. If same side and interior and same side exterior angles are supplementary, which they should be, then lines are parallel. You might have heard someone say, like, doing proofs, right? Geometry proofs, proving something. The converse is you proving that they're parallel versus me telling you they're parallel. So this is the start of what we call like a geometry proof. We're just gonna like touch the surface on geometry proof. Eventually in course 4 you'll like go in it, okay? And proof takes a while. You gotta justify your steps, all right? We're just starting it. So like I said, it's gonna feel like we're doing what we did yesterday here. But we're not, because in this image, I don't have the symbols for parallel lines. Remember how yesterday I said we have to see that double line that almost looks like an 11 or the double arrow, and that's how I know lines are parallel. I don't see that anywhere, right? There's only single arrows here. There's no parallel symbol. So this is not saying parallel, the lines are parallel, but we're going to try to prove that they are, okay? So it says, which lines are parallel if angle 1 is congruent to angle 2? So let's look at the lines that make angle 1 and 2. So here's 1 and here's 2. So the lines that make angle 1 are these two. So I'm just going to extend the lines that I traced over. And then the lines that make angle 2 are these two. So if I extend those, it looks like this. You don't have to redraw the picture if you don't want to, but I do tend to do that. Now, in terms of that angle 1 is above line M, so it's in one of those two spots, but it's to the right of line A, so this is angle 1, right? And angle 2 is above line M, so it's in one of those two spots, and it's to the right of B, so that's angle 2. So now I have this picture without the extra stuff. All right, so if 1 and 2 are congruent, I'm telling you they're equal, right? So let's like say angle 1 is 30 degrees, angle 2 is 30 degrees too. They're equal, okay? So which lines are parallel in this case? Well, look at the picture. Which two lines look parallel in my redrawn picture? So we would say line A, and then our symbol for parallel, we talked about that yesterday, looks kind of like an exaggerated 11. Line A is parallel to line B, and then we will say because Now we need to state the angle relationship between angles 1 and 2. What are they called? We learned 5 different angle relationships. Alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, same side exterior, corresponding. These are corresponding. We will say because corresponding angles are congruent or equal. So yesterday I said, okay, these lines are parallel. If I give you the measure of angle 1, you can tell me the measure of angle 2, right? Because they're equal. Today I'm doing the opposite. I'm saying, here's the measures of these angles. Tell me why they're parallel. The relationship we're using here is corresponding. So we're going to say which lines are parallel, and then the reasoning will be whatever angle relationship you're seeing. In this case, it's corresponding angles. Okay, so we're using this same picture here, and now it's asking a different question. It's saying if angle 5 plus angle 6 equals 180. So I'm going to redraw the picture. Angle 5 is line A meeting line L. Angle 5 is this angle here, right? So it's to the right of line A and below line L. And angle 6 is line L and line B. And angle 6 is below L and to the left, so it's here. All right, so this is when I'm looking specifically at 5 and 6. So based on this picture, which two lines are parallel? A and B again, okay? You could see how somebody might think L and M, right? Because they look parallel too, but you have to use what you're given in the picture. 5 and 6 are giving me A and B, not L and M. So I would say line A is parallel to line B because, now what's the relationship between 5 and 6? Same side interior angles are supplementary. Yesterday I said, okay, A is parallel to B. If 5 is 30, what's B? And you could tell me B was 150, because supplementary, right? They should add up to 180. I'm saying they add up to 180. I'm telling you that. So then what? Then lines are parallel. So the opposite is true. If same side interior angles are supplementary, then lines are parallel. If lines are parallel, then same side interior angles are supplementary. Both ways work. We're just doing the opposite way today. All right, so this one says, what is the value for x for which A is parallel to B? This is going to look like what you just did for your warm-up, but it's actually the opposite. Okay, I don't know that the lines are parallel. I don't see any symbols. All of your warm-up either had a symbol for parallel or a note that said these lines are parallel. I know that. I don't know that here. But if I want them to be parallel, then 5 relationships have to be true. If I want them to be parallel, corresponding angles have to be equal. Alternate interior and alternate exterior angles have to be equal. Same side interior, same side exterior have to be supplementary if I want them to be parallel. So if I want them to be parallel, what's the relationship between these two things? What are they called?
Same side.
Same side. Okay, so same side interior angles have to be supplementary. If these lines are parallel, then those two angles have to equal 180 degrees. So if I want them to be parallel, then I have to add them together and set it equal to 180, which is what you did in the warm-up. You did the same math in the warm-up. We're just, the thought of the math is opposite. All right, so we'll combine like terms. Subtract 120. Multiply by 2. And it just says what value of x. It doesn't ask you to solve for the angle or anything like that. So the value of x would have to be 30 if these lines are parallel. Because if x is anything other than 30, then these two angles will not be supplementary. They won't add up to 180. And if they don't add up to 180, then the lines aren't parallel. What do you think? Not too bad? I feel like it's what you did today, right? Just with a little twist. You might have to write a sentence. And in the sentence, if you're writing a sentence, it just has to be, these are the two lines that are parallel because this is the angle relationship I'm seeing. Okay, so you're just gonna like state what that angle relationship is. All right, I'm gonna have you do practice today, and I'm gonna let you pick your groups or your pairs, okay? So if you wanna work in groups, I'd say max out at 4. If you wanna work in pairs, that's fine. All right, so I am looking for us to do page, hold on, not page 54, let's be honest. It's definitely not page 54. All right, let's see. Let's see what page I'm thinking. Number 9 through 14 and number 15 through, all right, it is page 36. Top number 36. So page 36, you're doing 9 through 14 and 15 through 20. There's more on this page than that. I just want you to do those problems. I've got some hints on the board on how to do them. So like number 9 through 14, you're just solving for x. You don't have to find the missing angles. And for 15 through 20, I'm looking for that sentence that we talked about. This line's parallel to this line because this relationship's happening. All right? So you can work on the floor, you can sit at desks, wherever you want, but I'm going to think 20 minutes would put us at 28, which would give me enough time to post the solutions. So I'm gonna go 20 minutes for this practice. Anybody have questions before you get started? All right. This is the last thing we're doing today, so just try and get through these problems as best as you can.